don't think so. Now, this is quite a new TV. It literally is just over a year old. It's a Samsung. And let me just... I haven't plugged it into the correct socket. I don't know why I've plugged it into the Variac. UE32. Can you see that? 43 something. UE32 14307. Is that right? Yeah, 321. Okay. Oh yeah, read it in the big writing. Yeah, 4307. Okay. And it's one of the newer ones from Samsung, which means there are no screws in the back whatsoever. So what you have to do, there are some pivot points to stick in a special a special Samsung screwdriver. Sorry, a special Samsung tool. I just use a screwdriver to open it up and then go around the edge, which we may have to do because it's usually the fat that goes on these. These are the ones that have got the awful mono board in, and I'm just going to focus in on, are we switched on the standby light. Okay, switch off and switch on. And we're just getting a blinking standby light. There it is, blinking again, you may see. Now inside these, I call them mono boards. So there's not a power supply and a main board or a T-con. It's all wedged into, well, the T-con on these could be part of the screen. Could be. Anyway. I will get my trusty screwdriver, which does everything. I will try and show you if I can. These are my trusty screwdrivers which do everything, and that's just going to go in there like that. Just be very gentle, and then on these it's very easy. You just, there we go, clip, clip, clip. Don't even have to do that side. Boom, and we're done. So that can come off. So normally on these, the big power transistor, the big FET, which is here, takes a hit. But I say normally, that when that happens, of course, you don't get any standby voltage. Surprise, surprise. That is a surprise. That is actually fine. Let's just see if the main filter cap is stored. No. Okay. Not what I thought it's going to be. Diodes. Really? No. Cool, you have to press hard to get a reading. They're just Schottky 3 amp 100 volt diodes. So this is looking like, as you can possibly tell, the power supply is this side of the board and the main board is that side. And it's looking like, because I bet if we plug back in again, if the lead will reach over, no, I'll have to, I should plug it into my isolation supply anyway. Bang. Just going to go back to DC volts, and I'm just see if there's anything
idea for voice over me to turn up at this point, because obviously it's quite late at night. I think it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning, and I haven't plugged the isolation supply in, so I'm going around looking for voltages here and I'm not finding them. I do discover this in a couple of minutes, but if you listen carefully in just a second, and we'll just cut to it, there's a rather strange loud noise. Something kind of collapses outside.
What on earth was that? Okay, hopefully you can still hear me. Sorry, there was a big noise outside, and I went to investigate. So this is really weird. It's not what I thought it normally is. This my 5 volts is there, the 12 volts is still there, and I can't think of anything else that's missing. So it's actually looking like this board is okay, but it's actually looking like the software. It's looking, there's no software. The firmware's got corrupt, which is possibly why we're getting a blinking LED. I hate these boards. These boards are just, I don't know what's gone on with Samsung. I mean, people take the mick out of Vestel for being cheap, but you know, with a Vestel, you're going to get a separate power supply. You're going to get a separate main board. These are just, normally it's the main power FET that goes pop and a capacitor goes on these. Right, okay, so I've got a couple of the newer versions of this TV in, and if it's, yeah, it's the GLR, I don't know if you can see, I'll just show you what screen's on in here. It's the GLR, I always remember the GLR 3 volts. Now I have got a couple of these boards, they're for the newer model of the TV, but they are for this screen. There may be a problem. I'm thinking on the boards that I've got, the power supply is in a different area. It's a slightly different design. On last year's model, this is the year before, this will be 2021, late 21 I think this came out. Is there a date stamped on it anywhere? Ah, there we go, look. Yeah, 2021. The 2022 ones, I have the power supply a little bit further down. But it'll still let me know if I can get the screen on. So let me just go looking for one of the other boards and see if it makes any difference. See if we can get some life to the screen anyway. We don't know what condition the screen is in. So you can probably see this is the board that I've just found. This is for a 2022 one, and some things on it are slightly different coloured capacitors, but that doesn't matter. And what I was going to say, this socket is further down, but I don't think it is. Hang on a minute, let me unplug this because we're still live. So I'm not going to raise this board on top, but we'll... No. That's the same. Okay, so this must be a 2021 board as well then. We may have struck gold. We may have got lucky. May. But if it is the firmware, there is no way of getting the firmware back into these boards. Unless you just, solder the chip off that board and put it onto this board. Well, pointless. You've got a board and might as well use the board. The firmware is held over there. And it's obviously gone corrupt because I wasn't filming, sorry. There was a bit of a bang and I went outside and came back in and carried on doing some tests and I forgot to press the record button. But anyway. Lift and separate, as they used to say in the old. I won't say. It'll show my age. This could be a nice, easy fix, which is good because it's pretty late at night. Well, it's gone midnight. I am recording now, aren't I? Yes. I haven't done any videos for ages, as some of you will probably know. Thanks for all the messages. Two things have happened. I'm doing another job. I've gone back to my radio side of things for a bit, just to help somebody out. Help out a friend. That doesn't seem to be in correctly. I suppose it is. Help out a friend at a station. A radio station. And that takes me about 2 hours. So it's not long, but it takes 2 hours. But that 2 hours is my editing time. So obviously I'm still fixing, I'm still repairing TVs on a daily basis. And I'm still filming them because I tend to film everything that I do as I go along. Being the professional amateur that I am. This is actually looking like it's identical. Well, it's not identical board because... I'm going to say it's not identical because caps are different colours, but that really doesn't mean anything. One board was probably made in Taiwan and the other one was probably made in Tai2. I wonder. Right, so I've got the screen in, I've got the speakers in, I've got the Wi-Fi in, I've got the infrared in. That screen doesn't look like it's lined up to me. I mean, look at this for a design. Years ago, you couldn't have a main board wobbling around like that. Of course, there's no screws in this TV at all. I just can't believe how cheap Samsung have gone. I mean, I say cheap. If you saw this next to a Vestel set in your TV store, whichever TV store you'd have, a Vestel TV would be about 170. This would be more. This would be 250, maybe 270 pounds, because it's got the Samsung name.
Now it's at this point, oh joy of joys, that I suddenly realise, well, I don't realise actually, but it's at this point that the microphone packed up, so I have to go back to the voiceover situation. So this is quite simply just a board swap now. I've discovered that I do have a couple of spare boards that not only are correct for the screen, but they seem to be correct for this particular set. The reason for that is, and do pardon me if I've explained this already, but we're still on Samsung's mailing list because we used to be Samsung agents. And if you're on Samsung's mailing list, they send you all revisions to all the boards, so they keep sending them. Don't tell them. So we still manage to have a good stock of boards for reasonably new TVs. So on this particular occasion, even though I could have soldered off the chip, the NAND chip, and put it back on this one, what's the point? This should be, and I'm saying this with a small capital S, this should be a working board. In fact, this is the point where I suddenly realise, oh, hang on a minute, I'm not getting a standby light. It's at this point I suddenly realise that I haven't had the isolation supply plugged in. But anyway, I'll get round to. So the best thing to do here is to bring the other camera in so we can hopefully see what the red light does. This is obviously the new board that's in now. I'm trying to explain as I go because I can't really remember. It's been a few minutes since I've edited all this. Well, it's been a few hours since I've edited all this together. I think this is the bit where I realised that the isolation transformer isn't plugged in. So the isolation transformer is just to the left of the TV. And I suddenly glance over because I can't understand again why I'm not getting a standby light. And I'm thinking, oh no, maybe this board stuff, but it shouldn't be. This board should be brand new. The way to tell if a board is brand new is when you first switch it on, the TV acts as if it's brand new and never been tuned in. And that's what I'm hoping it's going to do, but I'm getting absolutely nothing. I don't know what's wrong with me tonight. I must be it's late at night and, I've done a full day and a half work and I've suddenly realised that, that transformer's not plugged in. I've obviously used the plug, the wire for something else. So I'm plugging it back into my Variac now. So I think I've realised, and now we'll get the other cam to focus in on the little infrared signal for the remote control. So hopefully when I switch this on, we may see the red light. Then again, we may not. No, we do. There it is. And on it comes. I think it said Smart TV by Tarzan or Tizen. I've got no idea who Tarzan or Tizen is, but there you go. As I said, this is one of the Samsung newer ones, and now it's just going to go through the startup process because I mentioned earlier this is a brand new board. So that's it. It's not a very exciting video, and again I do apologize. I don't know if I've explained during the course of this video because my microphone packed up at a time and I'm not too sure what I've said and what I haven't said, but kind of many apologies because I haven't done a video in 2 or 3 months. Well, I haven't done a video since Christmas. And that's quite simply because I'm doing other jobs. I'm helping out a friend who's running a radio station, and he just needed me to take over his breakfast show. So I've decided to do that. Obviously, I'm earning from it. That's one reason why I'm doing it. But it is taking up a lot of my time. It's taking me an extra 2 hours a day, which is normally my video editing time. So even though I've still been repairing and recording bits, I'm just pointing out here that this is a customer's TV, and they've left the wrapping on at the bottom, which just looks really strange. But anyway, I'm still recording stuff, and I'm still repairing stuff on a daily basis. Obviously, mainly TVs, but in this business, you get asked to do some strange stuff. I think I've repaired a fridge freezer circuit board, and I don't know much about football, but last week somebody bought me a circuit board for a linesman's flag. Does this make sense to you? So linesmen don't have their own flags anymore in their hand. You press a button and a flag automatically comes up. I don't know. But anyway, I had to repair that, put a new solenoid in. So I am still doing stuff on a daily basis, but I ain't got the time to edit it. Here I am at 1 o'clock in the morning editing this. And it's only because I've got a week off. From the radio station. I've got a week off, so I'm catching up with a few repairs. And I just thought I'd say hello and do a video. This makes absolutely no sense to you if you're quite a new subscriber and you're just going through all my videos, but it has been about 2 or 3 months since I've done the last one. So thanks for all the comments and thanks for the emails and stuff. I'm perfectly well. I'm just working really hard. Well, you can see the name of the radio station on the screen there because obviously no radio station these days, very few, not even the big ones like Radio 1 and Radio 2 do all the shows live from the main studios. We do them from home. And I'm sure you've seen some videos of me in the past because I've got a little studio set up to the right of this desk. I do it all in this particular unit. So that's the reason why I haven't had time to edit any stuff. I think I've been trying to explain that during this video, but I don't realise that since there was the bang and clatter of something that collapsed outside, and I haven't the faintest idea. It's dark outside. I can't see what's collapsed. Nothing major from what I can see. But I didn't realise that the microphone had switched off, or I'd switched it off and forgot to switch it on again. So just a quick video to say hello. I'm still alive. I'm still repairing. I'll hopefully get the chance to do one more while I've got this week off. I would have thought it won't be terribly exciting, but most of the videos that I've done over the last 3 or 4 years, I mean, we've covered everything. We've covered just about every fault on every TV that's, new like this one to something that's 10 years old. So it's getting difficult to source new material. I just thought I'd do this one because A, I'd got the time, and B, it was a different fault, but it didn't turn out to be the fault I thought it was. So I didn't even get the chance to plug me soldering iron in. It was just a straightforward board swap. But this is business. If you've got the part, you've got the part, you stick it in, and you take the money from the customer. That's the way that it works. So thanks for your support. I promise I'll try and do as much as I can, but do expect, I'm afraid, fewer videos at the moment because of all the stuff that I'm doing. And I'll see you in the next one. I think in a second I do plug this into my Blu-ray player, so we'll just skip to that. We'll just skip to the bit because I want to test the HDMI, which is what I'm probably trying to plug in now.